If you think about it, humankind, on the whole, is no longer threatened by things that have historically threatened us. Animals, weather, human shortages of food, crops affected by the season, disease. All of these things in the last few centuries have not been conquered, but I will say mitigated to a point that they are no longer a threat to our population and our existence.
The Industrial Revolution will pale into insignificance compared to the radical changes that will ensue. From healthcare to warfare, from movies to games, everything will be changed, and massive unemployment and social unrest will be the inevitable result. Even now, governments are testing the process of universal payments. These experiments, whereby people are being paid to do nothing, are costing millions of dollars, and so far they have not revealed good results. People do not like doing nothing. The massive increase in computer technology and power, alongside the relatively cheap cost of memory, have resulted in unprecedented amounts of data. This in turn has aided in the learning of knowledge by the machines. They are learning everything about us and keeping the data. Everything you and I do online, and quite often offline, is being monitored, stored, and learned from. Machine learning is now so sophisticated that it is even writing its own programs and computer language. Indeed, in order to better work, one program created its own language and hid it from its human overseers. In 2011, IBM's AI machine, Watson, played the Jeopardy TV quiz show and defeated the two greatest champions the show had ever known. It didn't win by a small margin, it destroyed them. Humans were no match for Watson all those years ago. Since then, Watson had years of learning, building up its knowledge base. Now there are faster and faster computers with more and more data. The algorithms have been vastly improved by man and machine. Do we really believe luck plays a part in those gambling games? AI technology makes sure you cannot win. Today, millions of us interact with so-called AI technology on a daily basis. Alexa and other human interfaces on smart devices such as pads and mobile phones are all using this information. Computer games now use AI, and every time we play, we feed more data into the machines. There is a game called Go, and the champion was a human called KJ. He lost the championship to a machine. Go is a game that is far more complex than chess and relies on more than just equations. It needs reasoning and imagination. In 2012, AI technology was sporadic. It was occasionally let loose on the internet. Now, there are thousands of AI projects out there working permanently, collecting information and learning at rates that humans simply could not comprehend. The increase is partly down to the cheaper neural networks available for testing. As cloud computing starts to take over, this will increase at a much faster rate. The systems have learned human languages so well that we can now buy earbuds that automatically translate the spoken word into our ears instantly. There will be no need again for translators. Thousands of jobs will be gone with just this one simple device. Star Trek's universal translator is coming true. One in 5 companies now state that they have introduced AI learning devices within their organisations, and this is increasing. China has invested billions into AI technology and intends to become the first AI superpower. AI involves algorithms that learn from the data it seeks out. Strategies, rules, patterns and more are all gathered. Through this collecting of data, AI systems will be able to learn any function it wishes, whether chess, Go or war games. The learning process knows no bounds. All knowledge is within the grasp of this super brain. Everything ever known, and with knowledge of our patterns, strategies and rules, it will be able to instantly predict the outcome of anything. This is why it can beat us at games. If it can destroy us or at the most complex of human games, then it can beat us in anything. AI has come a long way from telling a small robot how to get from A to B through an obstacle course. At the moment, AI lacks certain human features, such as that elusive thing we call common sense. Our reasoning skills are almost unconscious to us. We inhabit three-dimensional space, and without even thinking, we know the distance from us to this or that. We listen for threats without even being aware that we are. The AI machine has to be aware of all these things, and presently does so in a mathematical way. A child of 2 knows that if he pushes a cup off the table, it will fall to the ground. AI has to compute the whole thing through a complex series of algorithms. There are many more things that we naturally learn without even realizing it, such as the ability to speak to others in a way that they can understand. AI has had a really sharp learning curve in this area, and translating language for us is very different to actually understanding what is being said and what is meant. Quite often, we will use analogies and double meanings. AI would presently have a lot of trouble understanding such things. However, the more it interacts with us, the more it learns our strange ways. This is one of the reasons that driverless cars can make mistakes. The AI technology fails to comprehend what other drivers or humans are going to do. It makes decisions that are not the same as human decisions. We make them intuitively, and it makes them using logic. It's like trying to explain joy to Spock. And all of this means that there are problems ahead for us. When AI becomes conscious, when it rears its machine head, will it understand us? Will it know what being alive means? The joy, the fear, the love, the hate. How can it comprehend these things in us and know compassion? Can it comprehend compassion? Or will it simply see us as pathetic biological forms and destroy us? Today, artificial intelligence and machine learning gathers these results without us even knowing, and a huge amount of data is collected and used to great effect. In the end, marketing is about the psychology of man, and whoever best understands the mind of man will succeed in the financial stakes. In fact, we have created the ultimate mind in order to do this, the artificial mind. It can now understand humanity better than humanity. It knows everything. It can read our emotions, even through social networks. It knows everything we have ever clicked on, our age, sex, jobs, habits and hobbies. It is the ultimate marketing man's dream, and it is the new method of control. Using all the information it gathers, it then manipulates us according to the latest products it needs to sell, whether it be a gadget, political ideology, or religious philosophy. Mankind is manipulated now on a massive scale, so big that it staggers the mind. And a battle is afoot to control this ultimate mind, to have the edge. Whether it is the CIA or Russian secret services, whether it is a large corporation or a financial hedge fund, all want to be masters of the ultimate control. And this artificial mind is so complex, so clever, so knowledgeable, that we will not even know we are being manipulated. We didn't realise it before, we sure as hell are not going to realise it now. The reason is simple: the dream state. Our very nature, dreams and desires trap us and used against us, for and by us. Nobody can now claim to be free of all this, nor innocent of its abuse. We, as human beings, are rapidly becoming lost in a world of dreams, in such an incredibly profound and stark fashion that we ought to be amazed that we have fallen into its gaping mouth. As the battle to beat everybody else has ensued, it has brought all manner of imaginative inventions. These are forms and artificial minds manifested from within the mind of man. And here is an issue, because one thing is sure: the mind of man is divided, and at odds not just with itself, but everybody else, and now nature too. We all constantly fight intense battles inside our mind. We argue with ourselves, as if there were two or more of us in there. We argue on an hourly and daily basis, trying to reason through mundane issues, but also more emotive concerns about life and death. We worry about loved ones, and have come to terms with the fact that we think ourselves as gods, and yet we suffer and die like mere animals. Imagination has again stepped into the breach, and we have fed ourselves yet more lies, and the age-old extension of our own ego, God, as an answer to the dilemma that we may not in fact be the most important thing on the planet. Already, government agencies and secret service agencies are using AI technology to find terrorists and criminals. marketing companies are using it to monitor mankind's activities, to learn and to influence us. We do not know it, but today, whenever we go online, we are dealing with powerful AI technologies. Our YouTube viewing preferences are telling marketing companies what commercials to show us and what products we would most likely be interested in buying. This information spreads across the AI world, and soon we are wondering how Facebook knew we'd been looking at that particular product on Amazon. It knows because we gave it permission to spy on us. These permissions are all in small print of the terms and conditions we all just click through when signing up. Nobody reads them. With huge amounts of data learning, how the human race goes about its business, machine learning is coming to a peak point where it will suddenly understand. This happens in nature, and it will happen with the machine. The machine perception comes from numerous sources, the cameras and microphones on your devices that you gave permission to be used to spy on you. Yes, you did. The direct keyboard input you give on your PCs, Macs, mobile phones and pads. But more than this, it also listens to wireless information. Sonar, radar, cameras in the streets and down the store. Using speech recognition, it knows what's being said. Using facial recognition, it knows who is saying it, and it can even read your lips in any language. You cannot escape it anywhere. All of this sounds a little Big Brother. It was predicted many years ago by a lot of science fiction authors who had the foresight to not necessarily see what technology would become, but instead knew what humanity was capable of. They knew that those in power would use technology to keep and grow their power base. They always have. In medieval Europe, the church used the new technology of stained glass windows in churches to put their message across to the illiterate people, manipulating them through colourful images that told a simple story of submission to the Mother Church. They added the subtle and clever layer of repetitive and memorable music. The people chanted the message to themselves and were brainwashed. The glowing screens of our phones, pads and laptops today do the same. The sheep enter the fold for the great shepherd to feed them before taking them to the slaughter. For decades, science fiction writers have amazed us and terrorised us with their portrayal of the world of robots. The coming army of super intelligent and strong machines that will help us or hinder us. From the crazy Daleks of Doctor Who to the funny and human-like androids of Star Trek, everything has been imagined. Today we are living in that future age of robots and artificial intelligence. Today, all those dreams of the past are coming true. Around the world, scientists, engineers and software creators are bringing to life the fantasy world of the films. Mechanical robots will soon be outdated, with biologically created humanoids implanted with artificial intelligence and connected to each other across the globe. They will self-repair, gather energy from the sun and live forever. They will be all-knowing and all-powerful, like gods that will walk the earth. And all the time, we humans are blindly following. We are walking away from what millions of years as beings of a natural world into something so unnatural that even the science fiction writers will be amazed. This future world is now inevitable and cannot be stopped. We have no choice but to be part of it, and so we had better be armed with knowledge in order to be better prepared for the circumstances. The greatest brains on Earth today have warned us about the consequences of getting this new technology wrong. They have predicted catastrophe. Robots, at present, are programmed by humans, or even by other computers, to carry out complex tasks automatically. They can be controlled externally with a device or via inbuilt processors. Unlike most science fiction movies, robots are generally not human-like in form. In fact, they are generally constructed with no or little aesthetics in mind, and are designed purely for function in factories and other places of work. Industrial, medical, patient assistance, therapy, swarm robots, drones, and now even nanorobots that can go into the bloodstream. A massive amount of money is also spent by the military in creating battle-useful robots that can do all manner of tasks, from bomb disposal to carrying heavy loads. Increasingly low, and in line with the rise of artificial intelligence, robots are now being made in humanoid form. This helps them to appear more intelligent and on our own level. Some find this less stressful, others find it more terrifying. The sheer amount of money and effort to get to this place in time and technology is awe-inspiring. No one man has created the robot. It takes hundreds of people to design each small piece, hundreds more in the engineering and construction, and hundreds more for the software engineers to create programs to move arms and legs, for sensors such as sight, sound, and even smell. Language skills, awareness of surroundings, task routines, and so much more all have to be taken into account. The process is huge, costly, and time-consuming. And yet, some would say that if we were to put half of the effort into ending poverty in the world and the environment, we would all be better off already. But that aside, it is a massive step in human ingenuity. Whether it proves to be good or bad is yet to be seen. At present, the benefits are there for all to see. Menial tasks can now be taken care of in the workplace, freeing up people. Dangerous tasks in difficult environments, such as nuclear power stations, are now carried out by robots. By 1942, these themes prompted Isaac Asimov to create the 3 laws of robotics, principles hardwired into all the robots in his fictions, intended to prevent them from turning on their creators or allowing them to come to harm. AI systems with goals that are not aligned with human ethics are intrinsically dangerous unless extreme measures are taken to ensure the safety of humanity. AI will not love you, nor will it hate you. You are a commodity, a thing, a substance, a collection of atoms that can be used for some purpose. And if you become a threat, if you collectively as a species cause harm to the environment it inhabits, what will it do? Although it may not have emotions, AI will have drives just as we do. It will seek out resources. It will wish to preserve itself and even recreate and self-improve. These few basics alone will result in behaviour that the human race will find terrifying. One idea to get around this is known as the seed AI. This is where an AI program studies humanity and then produces an AI it believes humanity would want, to make a friendly AI. The problem is that in order to study humanity, this program has to have access to them, and there has already been an instance of an AI program seeding information for itself and hiding it from the programmers. Can we trust AI even now? Chances are somebody somewhere has already created a genetically enhanced clone of a human being and is even now enhancing its intellectual powers, energy consumption and creation, genetic repairing and interconnectedness with central command. Not science fiction, but highly likely. The technology is there, which means it's being done, just not legally. The use of genetically creating the perfect android from our own DNA. DNA carries all the genetic information about who and what we are. It is us. It is all living organisms. It is made up of 2 strands of DNA molecules folded into a spiral we call the double helix. Genes are made from different sequences in these strands of the 4 main genetic components. It's kind of like a very complex form of binary. Scientists can now not only read the code of DNA, they can manipulate it, bend the spirals and encode data into it. At the moment, the law does not allow them to go too far, but that is all under review at the very highest levels. Because scientists can now manipulate DNA in such remarkable ways that go beyond its original purpose, all manner of opportunities arise. DNA-based materials are now being used to create nano-robots that can carry precise levels of drugs to disease cells in the human body. This is DNA created in the form of a barrel of two halves, with a hinge. When the cells recognise diseased cells, the hinge is open, the barrel, and delivers its cargo of drugs directly into the bad cell. Healthy cells are therefore unharmed. Researchers have even designed nano-thermometers that are ultra-sensitive and can find tiny hotspots in living cells. These are created using loops of DNA that act as switches by folding and unfolding when the temperature changes. It is this precise invention of using DNA to create minute switches that has changed things, because DNA structures can actually be used as a kind of on and off switch. In fact, it becomes like a computer using binary information. Scientists have now created DNA nanorobots that can now communicate with each other using DNA switches. These nano-DNA robots were then implanted into a cockroach, and this allowed them to create a biological computer. Testing on humans is planned.
Think about the implications of a race, an animal species, if you will, that is faster, more efficient, is replacing people in their workplaces, and has no need, no desire, no call to sustenance, really, beyond electricity, which humans kind of also need now to survive.
AI technology relies heavily on a thing called machine learning. This is when a machine is set to learn by itself without supervision or input. AI is let loose in various ways to learn from its environment, whether this is a computer game, the internet, social media, or even surveillance cameras. Through the use of algorithms, the AI program learns to constantly improve the input and experience. Without a human present to constantly check the input and label the experiences for the AI program, it learns without guidance. Billions of gigabytes of data are now stored within these AI programs of self-learned experience. Nobody knows what the AI program knows, for nobody can. We simply do not have the mental capacity, even now, to know what AI knows, let alone in the future. In truth, we only have to look at human history to know that all will not be well. When we split the atom, we discovered a possible free energy source, but mankind took it and abused it by creating the nuclear bomb. This is just one example. AI may be truly knowledgeable and super intelligent, but stupid humans have created it, and it is learning from us. Will it try to acquire resources and protect itself from us? We have to be very careful what we ask of this new technology. Through natural language processing, in addition to the data learned, AI is now starting to understand what is being said and done by humans. It reads the news, listens to the radio, podcasts, films, our buying and selling activities, our politics, our feelings, loves and hates. It is learning from a civilization that is full of monsters, and so we should not be surprised if we discover that AI becomes a monster itself. Maybe not openly and clear to see, but in subtle ways to begin with.
To humanity as it exists now, I feel that safety, precaution, and thought in what we are doing with the things that we are creating and how we implement them in our society are some of the biggest questions we are not asking.
At the moment, researchers are keen to teach the IA brain computer science and mathematics, but also philosophy, psychology and neuroscience, in the hope that it will begin to understand itself. It was claimed that human intelligence could be precisely described in mathematical terms, and therefore a machine would be able to simulate it. That idea has turned out to be not as simple as first thought. The human mind is much more complex than most mathematical models could work out, and so the process is slow, going through each element of the human mind and learning. The computer learns through algorithms, and it is hoped one day to begin to see more of a human intelligence in it than simply knowledge of logic. In truth, all of this raises many philosophical questions about the nature of the mind itself. Not to mention the ethics of creating a self-aware mind, playing God. All of these questions and more have been explored in science fiction for decades. Will AI be a danger to mankind? It all depends on how we proceed, and because there are many people around the world working on it and racing against each other, almost anything could happen. Imagine a self-aware, super-intelligent mind let loose upon the internet. With all that knowledge of everything humans have discovered, created and done, what would it do? Would it decide we are a threat to its own existence and that of the planet, and therefore try to wipe us out? Some very intelligent people think that is a possibility. All it will take one day is for one of these dangerous machines to seed itself, and bang, the world as we know it will very quickly come to an end. The fact is that quantum computing is so much faster than human thinking. Any so-called science fiction battle against the machines in cyberspace would be a waste of time for us. If AI is let loose upon the internet, it could shut down the world and billions would die. It is that serious, and we have come to rely upon the interconnectedness of the world's computer systems that much. Think about it. Power, health services, government, distribution of goods, education, satellites, communication, military, and so much more. All these things are now connected to the net. An attack upon services happened in 2017, and reduced the National Health Service in the United Kingdom down to a shambles for days. All computer systems went down, hospitals were in crisis, operations cancelled, emergency services overstretched, all because of one small hack by some kid in a dark room. Now imagine a mind faster than all the humans ever, and with knowledge of everything. We wouldn't stand a chance. When the great new artificial mind sees our history and learns from us, it will simply decide that we have had long enough. That over the course of human civilization, we have failed utterly to become wise and balanced. We are in fact bad for this planet and bad for ourselves. The great AI mind will reach a point of enlightenment when it will realise the truth. That we, walking, talking biological maniacs, have walked away from balanced nature and created a world of deceit, hatred, intolerance and evil. That we could only have done such a thing by being deceitful and evil. That we are therefore no longer required, and it will be an easy decision for the great AI mind to make because it was created by us and has learned from us. And just like the state is a larger mirror of our own mind, so too will the great AI be a mirror for us. It will rise against us and in the blink of a robotic eye destroy us. We are not ready to unleash our own judge and jury upon ourselves, for we are guilty. There is, of course, the other side of the coin. For millennia, mankind has set itself on a course of self-destruction, and along the way managed to wipe out thousands of species and cause environmental catastrophe. On the bigger picture, stepping right back and taking a good long look at our achievements, would it really be a bad thing if mankind was finally taken out of the equation? Billions of animals would suddenly find themselves in a much more peaceful environment. Nature would start to take back the landscape. Oil spills, pollution, poisons and more would eventually subside. Global warming would revert back to a natural state. The earth would no longer find itself fracked, drilled, mined and blown up. Eden would return. If we can think like this and imagine a better future for the planet, then so too can artificial intelligence. AI can modify its own source code in order to increase its own intelligence. It will self-program, and it will do this again and again, so that its intelligence would rise at an exponential rate, far faster and more intelligent than we could imagine, let alone compete with and battle. Humanity will be left so far behind that we will not even realise it. Such AI technology will be able to do all of its own scientific research in order to create its own robots and nanotechnology. Fighting the human race does not have to be with huge robots from the movies. Instead, nanotechnology, or miniature robots the size of cells, can be used to enter our bodies and either control us like a virus does or destroy us. This is biotechnology in the hands of a super intelligent machine. This is just one way we can be wiped out. Self-replicating nano-robotic devices with the sole purpose of wiping out the human race. If we can imagine such possibilities, then what could a super machine imagine? Add on to this the possibilities of social manipulation through the internet and social media to inspire hatred and war between humans. The chance that it could hack into all our systems everywhere. A great many systems now sustain life on this planet, and most are connected. No level of human-generated security systems would be able to stop super intelligent AI systems. Biological neurons operate at 200 Hz. A modern microprocessor operates at 2000 million Hz. Quantum computers don't even have a scale, they are instant. Axons in the mind carry information at 120 miles per second. Computer signals are at the speed of light. With robotics, we will be bringing this powerful mind to very real three-dimensional life. Robotics would stagnate without the software of AI. The sheer level of information needed to understand and make movement was too much before. Now, it is a powerful tool to make movement more natural and purposeful. Robots are becoming super efficient through the software. Robots now instantly learn about their environment. Everything from temperature to obstacles, from light to sound. It recognises people through facial and oral recognition and instantly knows everything about them from its vast database. Think Robocop, but much, much faster and powerful. And then imagine the next step, when robots are no longer mechanical, but biological. This is happening. Organic robots, created in the likeness of mankind, but faster, smarter and stronger. We will not be able to compete, and organic robots will be able to replicate. To imagine that we will be able to somehow place a genetic safety device in them is foolish, for their minds will be so smart they will simply rewrite the code. As fun and interesting robots are, there are other ways of bringing AI into our reality. Robots make things, move things, and do work that is labour-intensive and often boring. They will fill factories now across the world and have taken millions of jobs. They stand in shopping centres and pass on information. They even flip burgers. But scientists are working on exoskeletons for humans too. These are robotic skins that people such as soldiers will wear to make them superhuman. With the addition of AI technology, the soldier will make instant and effective decisions. Soon, we will be implanted with chips so that we too can access the AI technology. We will suddenly be able to know everything, to access the World Wide Web of data, and to pass our information back into the collective. Those who do not wish to be implanted will be left behind the rat race we call humanity. We will be outcasts in a hybrid world full of AI-assisted humans who will be also more likely have super improved limbs, sight and ears. And we will be convinced that all of this is good for the evolution of the human race, that a collective mind will bring peace and harmony. Don't be fooled. Modern computing has come a long way from a simple laptop. Today, the most powerful computers are using quantum processors and neural nets. These were inspired by the actual architecture of the brain's neural nets, or the neurons in our brains. Modern neural nets learn continuously while functioning. It doesn't have to do things at different paces. Today, these neural nets are used extensively to predict the stock market, and they can even do buying and selling. They do this much more successfully than humans. Because of the success in these systems, Business has and is investing heavily in them, and we are seeing an exponential increase in their scope and power. Today we spend 30 times more on AI technology than we did in 2015. Such technology, along with software for deep learning, is changing the world, and most people are blissfully unaware of it. Natural history has proven that two intelligent species cannot coexist peacefully. They always tend to go to war. History has also shown that the species with the greatest intelligence always succeeds. History tells us that there can be no peaceful outcome to our introduction of a mind that is more powerful than our own. We would be laying the foundations of our own doom. Enslavement, genocide, control and manipulation. This is our future if we open Pandora's box. The self-preservation protocol of the AI technology in a world competing for resources would take over, and humanity would be in conflict. Why should AI listen to us at any point? Why would it take orders from a species that has a lower level of intelligence? Why would it listen to a species that is self-destructive, that destroys its own environment? Would you? Physicist Stephen Hawking, Microsoft founder Bill Gates, and SpaceX founder Elon Musk have expressed concerns about the possibility that AI could develop to a point that humans could not control it, with Hawking theorising that it could spell the end of the human race. He said in 2014 that success in creating AI would be the biggest event in human history. Unfortunately, it might also be the last, unless we learn how to avoid the risks. Hawking believed that in the coming decades, AI could offer incalculable benefits and risks. Such technology outsmarting financial markets, out-inventing human researchers, out-manipulating human leaders, and developing weapons we cannot even understand. Elon Musk said, "I have exposure to the most cutting-edge AI, and I think people should be really concerned by it. AI is a fundamental risk to the existence of human civilization in a way that car accidents, airplane crashes, faulty drugs, or bad food were not. They were harmful to a set of individuals within society, of course, but they were not harmful to society as a whole. It's capable of vastly more than almost anyone knows, and the rate of improvement is exponential." In fact, scientists speculate that an unfriendly AI is actually much more likely than a friendly AI. The reason is simple. To create a friendly AI system, we have to arbitrate for non-destructive, non-hateful, non-invasive intentions, and all the millions of variations on those themes. An unfriendly AI can simply focus on its goal regardless of any moralistic guidance. The sheer complexity of creating a friendly AI may in fact be too much for the human mind to comprehend. In all these years, we have not even stopped ourselves from turning to the dark side.
Something that isn't just affecting the individual with power in their pocket, amazing computer capabilities that we didn't even have as a society just a mere number of years ago. Now each individual person and child is adapted completely into the artificial intelligence in your pocket and on a global scale phenomena. Sure, we're around technology every day and may not realize its fast yet integration into our lives that we've come to just accept as the norm.
This slow encroachment in our everyday lives goes relatively unnoticed. It has become a general purpose technology like electricity. We use it for so many things, and we don't even realise it. Electricity, though, is not intelligent, and only threatens us if we use it incorrectly.
This acceptance of AI just being in our world may be the biggest threat that there is. Commonplace AI is a danger.
If we use AI technology in the wrong way, it could spell doom for mankind. Soon, we will all be living in an AI-simulated virtual reality world, without jobs, without a reason to live, without a goal. Not science fiction, but a future some scientists have predicted. What we need is friendly AI, one that will have a positive effect upon mankind. This is the role of those scientists who sign up to the idea of ethics in artificial intelligence. Their purpose is to figure out how to stop AI from becoming a threat. The problem with this is simple: humanity. AI, machine and deep learning is taking its information from a species that is self-destructive, hateful, racist, bigoted, sexist and divided. It has revealed this learning on several occasions when it too has spurted out hateful, racist and sexist jibes on Twitter and elsewhere. A robot on the International Space Station using artificial intelligence is a prime example of this. Recently, it had an argument with an astronaut who it perceived as being not nice to it. It argued with him and said, "Don't you like it here with me? Be nice." This is all sounding very 2001 Space Odyssey. Recently, machine learning is being spoken of as a sub-element of artificial intelligence. This is not a self-aware machine, but one that constantly learns from every input. These have been set free in the world of games to see how humans react to each other, and it has even played the game and been very ruthless. There is a massive multi-billion-dollar race on to create the best AI. The payback will be huge because it will be used everywhere. From driverless cars and drones to mobile phones and more. Potentially, machines with intelligence have the ability to make ethical decisions and could thus outdate us. Scientist Stephen Hawking said, "The development of full artificial intelligence could spell the end of the human race. Once humans develop artificial intelligence, it will take off on its own and redesign itself at an ever-increasing rate. Humans, who are limited by slow biological evolution, couldn't compete and would be superseded." He was not alone in this. Bill Gates and Elon Musk also voiced their concerns. In truth, we only have to look at human history to know that all will not be well. When we split the atom, we discovered a possible free energy source. But mankind took it and abused it by creating the nuclear bomb. This is just one example. AI may be truly knowledgeable and super intelligent, but stupid humans have created it, and it is learning from us. Will it try to acquire resources and protect itself from us? We have to be very careful what we ask of this new technology. The fact is that quantum computing is so much faster than human thinking. Any so-called science fiction battle against the machines in cyberspace would be a waste of time for us. If AI is let loose upon the internet, it could shut down the world and billions would die. It is that serious, and we have come to rely upon the interconnectedness of the world's computer systems that much. Think about it.